Okay, go.
Ready? Well, it's a real pleasure for me to spend a couple minutes with you guys at Poulsbo RV. I'm spending, this will be about 8 or 10 minutes of a little overview of the Hebb electric bicycles. We're excited at Hebb Electrics to be able to test our bikes here at this dealership and maybe one or two of the other ones because we think that there's a great opportunity here. And you've got a customer that meets the demographic profile of our electric bike customer too, so we'll see how that works. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing with Hebb Electric Bikes. My name is Phil Herzog, and I just want to run through a couple of things with you about the bike that I think are important when you're talking to potential customers about electric bikes. I want to talk about two things real quickly. One is that there are essentially two types of propulsion systems with electric bikes. There is what we call pedal activated, which is when you turn the motor on, but it will not activate unless you put your foot on the pedal, and in a half rotation the motor engages, and then that's your propulsion. That's called pedal on demand or pedelec. This version and all of the Hebb electric bikes are called twist throttle, which means that you can ride this with the motor off completely and ride it like a manual bicycle, or you can turn the motor on and use the twist throttle and not pedal at all, so you're just using power, or you can do a combination, a hybrid. That's kind of like what I like to do because you get a lot more range out of a single charge than if you're just using the battery and going up lots of hills and so forth. I want to talk to you about a couple of the main features that any electric bike purchaser is looking for. The two most critical things are the motor, and in this case it's a rear hub motor, and then the battery here. So this motor is a 250 watt brushless DC motor, which is considered one of the best in the world in the 250 watt range. And it's just a really fine motor. We've never had any trouble with them. They're made right in the factory in Shanghai, which is where the rest of the bike is made, and that in itself is unusual. And then this is the battery, which is, in this case, for this Hebb ElectroFolder, a 37 volt lithium polymer battery, which is a 10 amp hour battery. It takes about 4 hours to charge and has a range of about 25 miles with modest pedaling. We have a 14 amp hour version, which gives you about 35 miles of range with modest pedaling. They're really great batteries. This is the state-of-the-art battery technology, and you can compare these with the older generations of nickel metal hydride or lead acid batteries, which are a lot heavier, and you don't want to deal with those, especially with a bike, because instead of dealing with a 50-pound bike, you're now dealing with a 90 or 100-pound bike. So this is a nice light bike. This comes out and has a charge socket to it so that you can take it indoors or in your RV and plug it into the RV power, and it'll give you a full, it'll recharge the battery in 4 hours. And then you put it back in, and there you go. So battery and motor is important. I think the other thing to tell you about, the reason that I would compare an electric bike over a scooter, we already, it's obvious the difference between a regular manual bike and an electric bike, the benefits of an electric bike. But when we compare these to scooters, the advantage that you have with an electric bike is primarily you've got the lightweight, but the bigger issues are in mobility. But because of the 20 mile an hour maximum speed limit, so these have governors or controllers that limit the speed of the motor itself to 20 miles an hour, you don't have to have insurance, you don't have to have a license, or you don't have to have a registration. So that makes it available to anybody, 80, 90-year-old to ride on the street or on the sidewalk or whatever, with kids that are 10 years old, which makes it really nice, as opposed to a scooter, which in addition to the several hundred pounds that they weigh to get into an RV, they have to be licensed in most cases if you get into the higher horsepower. So a couple of other real quick things. You've got the components are really important. We'll start with the frame here. This is a high quality aluminum frame. You know, you can buy a chromoly frame. This is a solid aluminum frame. It's really high quality. This kickstand is really important. You know, you're dealing with 40 or 50 pounds here, and therefore you need a really stout kickstand that will keep the bike stable when you get off of it and, you know, do what you do and then get back on. So this is, you just pull this back. It's just like a motorcycle kickstand, really stable and sturdy. This bike comes with lights, a front and a rear halogen light. I'll turn this on so you can see it, which is really important if you're going to be riding at night. It doesn't throw a huge beam so that you can ride long distances at night. I don't recommend that, but it is good for shorter distances and in a modest a road that's not real busy. The tires are excellent tires. They're Schwalbe Marathon tires that have been slimed at the factory, which means that there's a layer of goop that's put inside the tire so that it resists puncture, and it already has puncture resistant Kevlar, a thin skin inside, so underneath the layers, so that it resists puncturing. And then we have brakes. Brakes are also important here. You've got your front and rear brakes. These are just good quality brakes. The bigger version has a front disc brake that is probably a little beefier than this, but again, because this is a smaller and lighter bike, it doesn't require the disc brakes. And then if you just look at the bike overall, it's got a nice fit and finish. It would compare to a higher end Camry or even a Lexus. If you were going to compare bikes to different categories, types of bikes, it's got a very nice fit and finish. You can see it's got a nice paint job on it. All of the components are nicely designed and got smooth surfaces and stuff. I think the last thing I'll just say is the brand. You know, there are a lot of brands out there, electric bike brands. A lot of them come and go. The bike is manufactured in Shanghai by a factory called Easy Kinetics, which has been around for 7 years, and they've consistently made the best bike in the mid-price point in the world. These bikes are all over the world now, in probably over 100 countries, dealerships all over the world, and the Hebb brand, which is a variation of that Easy Kinetics bike, it has become the #1 brand of the Easy Kinetics bike in the US. And we've got dealers all over the country very committed to being #1 in customer service of any of the electric bikes out there, even at the premium price point. We have a hotline, we have good service manuals that are accessible online, and it's just a great brand, and it's owned by a guy by the name of Phil Herzog, who is, you can swing by here if you want, it's all right. Owned by Phil Herzog, who is an entrepreneur and has been in the fitness specialty fitness equipment business all of his life and been very successful and runs a very good operation. Dealers around the country are very loyal to him because he's so good and responsive to providing parts, providing replacements and so forth as they're needed, and 100% guarantee, satisfaction guarantee. So that's basically it. It's a great bike. Real quickly, to break this bike down, it's real simple. It just takes a minute. Turn the battery off. Take this hinge over here if you want to come over here and take a look at this simple hinge that moves the handlebars down, fold into the pedals. You pull this hinge out, and that's it. This will fold down to about 7 cubic feet, so you can put that in a closet in the RV or in a trunk of the car, in a VW car. So it's really compact, and that's basically it. Thanks for taking the time to check the bike out, and I hope you have good success selling these and recommending them to your RV customers.